The Stuxnet virus was designed to target and attack German machines called Siemens, and any machines that have Windows software into their systems. And they go into admitting and bragging here on the Haaretz newspaper. Then they go here on the New York Times. They go on and bragging about how that they tested the worm and that was called crucial in Iranian nuclear delay. They also, right here, as you can see in this highlight, this is where the Stuxnet virus was created out of. And it states here, the Dimona complex in the Negev desert is famous as the heavily guarded heart of the Israelis' never acknowledged nuclear arms program. And you can see that they were even bragging about it. They go into details of how that the Stuxnet virus affects and attacks the nuclear security sensors and systems inside of the plant. Here it goes on to bragging about Israel. Video shows Stuxnet as one of its successes. In other words, they were bragging about it, boasting about it, and it's even on the Telegraph newspaper that they succeeded in targeting a nuclear power plant and causing it to shut down. They go on again and continuously. Israeli security chief celebrates the Stuxnet virus, again on the Telegraph, for the attacks on the Iranian nuclear power plant. On the BBC News, they go on to admit again that United States and Israel were behind the Stuxnet claims, which you're going to find out how Israel played a role in destroying the Fukushima nuclear power plant later on as we get into this video. And here you see that they even admitted on the BBC News that Israel and the United States were the ones who created the Stuxnet virus that was designed to target and sabotage the Iranian nuclear power program. After that was done, the Haaretz WikiLeaks exclusives Israeli ruled out military options in the Iranian years ago. See, they knew that if they created the Stuxnet virus sometime between 2005 and 2006, they created the Stuxnet virus, that they no longer need to go into with a military action to destroy them. They can do it by just simply weeding themselves into a nuclear power plant, causing the nuclear power plant to self-destruct, causing far much more devastating and destructive events that were, that would not have to need or have the need of military option. Here is the beginning of where the plots that were threatened against the Japanese people and how that it pulls the American people into the threat as well. See, America is also involved in being targeted by Israel, but the American government are behind this target. They're behind the plot of targeting their own people as well, because you got to remember they're controlled by Israel. They're ran by Israel. But this is where it begins. Watch carefully. The United Nations praises the Palestinian people for their statehood, which now has Israel angry at United Nations and the countries that support, 30 countries, mind you, that support the Palestinian statehood. They now are very highly angry, which you're fixing to see next, because he found out that Fayyad and Obama reached a secret understanding for the recognition of Palestine state. See, now they're very furious, they're very angry, okay, at the American people. Japan gives money and has the support of United Nations to rebuild the Jericho city east of Jerusalem, which is in the Palestinian territory, which was a no to the Israeli government. This was a clear direct attack against the Israelis' agendas. Israel threatens the United Nations and all the 30 countries of unilateral steps, as you can read right here on the title. Unilateral steps is indicating that they're threatening to attack any countries that support the Israeli statehood of declaration. You see there? That is right there in the wide open. Now, remember the Japanese supported them. They became the first country to actually give money to the Palestinian people to rebuild Jericho city. The Japanese people said to Israel, Japan does not recognize Israel's annexation of East Jerusalem. They're pissed. This came out April the 7th, 2011. Okay, you got to remember, this came out after the earthquake. And they now even more denied Israel, and this is the reason why Japan keeps on having more and more earthquakes, because they constantly denied Israel's existence. And they even called them murderers and criminals and illegal acts of building settlements in Palestinian territories that violates the 1967 border treaty that were signed between the two countries. Then it goes on to really add more fuel to the fire. The Japanese people are now supporting other Arab nations in the region around that are enemies to the Israeli government, such as Somalia, blah blah blah, and talking about broadening their horizons with nuclear projects in the Arab nations. And this right here is a no-no. It now has Israeli literally thinking in their heads that we have to do something to stop this country from intervening or interfering. Israeli now finds a way to get into the country. Israeli firm secures the Japanese nuclear power plant. Remember, they're the ones that created the Stuxnet virus. And they go there and they have access to their security systems in a nuclear power plant. The company, Magna BSP, was the Israeli firm that had access to the nuclear power plant, which you can see in this Haaretz newspaper document. See here? And they go on to admitting that they had access to the security systems, installing security systems and cameras into the facility so that they can film the devastation and destruction of the nuclear power plant. And then they go on to admitting and bragging that they came from the same location where the Stuxnet virus was created out of, in the Negev Desert, in a nuclear arms facility in Dimona, just like you read in the New York Times, which you'll see that in the links that I post below this video. This right here is where the Japanese and the Palestinians have had a long relationship, and since 2009, and it gives you all the hyperlinks here that you can see everything they're dealing with Japan and Palestine. Notice that they don't deal with Israel; they deal with Palestine. Japan was angry with the Israeli people, and were very angry with their crimes against them and their illegal acts of building settlements inside of Jerusalem, in East Jerusalem. This is where the Americans now get involved in threatening Japan. Gates warns Japan not to back out of troop deal. Okay, he warns them because, see, Japan new prime minister does not want America in the country or on the island of Okinawa. Okay, this is on the Japanese official Ministry of Defense website, and he admits in this article that as a threat in a hypothetical reverse speech that he's now threatening them with Mother Nature. You see what I'm getting at? They're now, and it goes into detail. It quotes it very clearly in the document.